Queen Elizabeth II, whose name evokes many royal mysteries, has become Britain's greatest woman for many special reasons. As a monarch and also the mother and grandmother of her family, Queen Elizabeth must have had a lot of experience in settling the discord relationships around her, and sometimes had to make extremely difficult choices. However, although she is such a tactful person, the relationship between her and a number of famous people has not been peaceful for many years, and until the Queen's death, raising negative stories about the royal family. This video will tell you their identities, and the final character will not disappoint you. Meghan Markle. The relationship between Queen Elizabeth II and her daughters-in-law has indeed varied significantly over the years, with each member of the royal family bringing their own unique qualities and circumstances to the table. While Kate Middleton, now the Duchess of Cambridge, has managed to maintain a positive standing with the Queen, Meghan Markle's entry into the royal family brought a level of turmoil and friction that became highly publicized and discussed. Kate Middleton, upon her marriage to Prince William, adopted a role within the royal family that aligned more closely with traditional expectations. Her background, upbringing, and demeanor have been viewed favorably by the Queen, and she has been seen as an exemplary member of the royal family. Kate's ability to balance her royal duties, motherhood, and public appearances while adhering to the protocols and standards set by the Queen has contributed to her positive standing within the family. In contrast, Meghan Markle, an American divorcee and actress, brought a set of circumstances and qualities that did not conform as easily to the traditional expectations of the royal family. Her background as a celebrity, her previous marriage, and her outspoken nature posed challenges to the royal establishment. Meghan's liberal views and her inclination to engage with the public in a more approachable and relatable manner, akin to the title People's Princess, sometimes clashed with the more reserved and hands-off approach traditionally associated with the royal family. Meghan's choices, from her fashion to her public appearances, often drew significant attention and sometimes criticism from the British tabloids, which had a long history of scrutinizing the royal family. This media scrutiny added another layer of complexity to her relationship with the Queen and the rest of the royal family. One particular instance that garnered public attention was the reported request for a special tiara for her wedding day, with rumors suggesting it may have once belonged to a Russian czar. While the specifics of this request remain disputed, it was emblematic of the challenges Meghan faced in navigating the traditions and expectations of the royal family. Prince Harry and Meghan Markle's decision to formally step down from their royal roles and the subsequent interview with Oprah Winfrey further strained relations within the family. The interview revealed personal details and concerns, causing distress and controversy. The Queen, in particular, was reportedly displeased that the broadcast competed with her Commonwealth Day address. One of the more recent points of contention involved the naming of their second child, Lilibet Diana Mountbatten Windsor. Meghan and Harry's use of Lilibet, the Queen's childhood nickname, as their daughter's name raised questions about whether they had sought the Queen's permission or blessing. Conflicting sources provided different accounts of the circumstances surrounding the name choice. Boris Johnson. The relationship between Prime Minister Boris Johnson and Queen Elizabeth II took an interesting turn during their very first audience in 2019, as reported by journalist Vincent McAvine. Johnson, known for his charismatic and often unorthodox approach to politics, made a notable mistake that raised eyebrows and led to palace staff reprimanding him. During his audience with the Queen, Johnson committed a breach of protocol by openly sharing a comment allegedly made by Her Majesty herself. According to Johnson, Queen Elizabeth II had remarked that she did not understand why anyone would want to be the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom. This candid revelation caused quite a stir, as such private conversations with the monarch are typically considered confidential and not to be disclosed to the public or the press. Johnson's blunder in sharing this statement became a talking point and left palace staff no choice but to rebuke him for his indiscretion. Boris Johnson's early days as Prime Minister were marked by his outspoken advocacy for Brexit, a position he had championed throughout the Brexit referendum campaign and during his leadership bid. He used the promise of delivering Brexit as a central component of his election platform and celebrated it in his victory speech. However, the Queen had previously been a subject of speculation regarding her views on Brexit. Reports had suggested that Queen Elizabeth II had subtly expressed her opinions on the matter, leading some to believe that she might not view Brexit as the best course of action for the country. These subtle cues were seen by some as an indication of her preference for the United Kingdom to remain in the European Union. This speculation added an intriguing layer of complexity to the relationship between the monarch and the Prime Minister, given Johnson's strong pro-Brexit stance. Boris Johnson's tenure as Prime Minister of the United Kingdom was marked by several instances that brought the relationship between the monarch, Queen Elizabeth II, and the government into the spotlight. One such incident, as reported by Politico, occurred when Johnson made a significant move that threw the Queen into a challenging position. In an attempt to advance his Brexit agenda and prevent any potential veto on a no-deal Brexit, Boris Johnson demanded that Parliament be suspended for several weeks. This move, known as proroguing Parliament, was seen by many as a controversial maneuver to limit parliamentary scrutiny and debate on Brexit. The decision created a stir across the nation, and some began to speculate whether Queen Elizabeth II could potentially intervene in the political process, despite her role as a constitutional monarch who is not supposed to take a stand on political matters. However, the Queen adhered to her long-standing policy of not getting directly involved in political affairs. She followed tradition and granted the Prime Minister's request to prorogue Parliament. This decision disappointed those who had hoped for a more active role from the monarch, but underscored the constitutional boundaries that Queen Elizabeth II respects as the ceremonial head of state. Another noteworthy incident during Johnson's premiership occurred amid the global COVID-19 pandemic. As reported by CNN, Boris Johnson allegedly expressed his determination to continue his bi-weekly meetings with the Queen, even in the midst of the public health crisis. He was quoted as saying, "I'm going to see the Queen. That's what I do every Wednesday. Sod this. I'm going to go and see her." This statement raised eyebrows and led to concerns about the potential risks associated with such face-to-face meetings during a pandemic. Downing Street staff, however, denied these accusations, and Johnson eventually postponed his regular visits to the Queen during the height of the pandemic, likely due to health and safety considerations. This episode illustrated the tension between the Prime Minister's official duties and the need to adhere to public health guidelines and safety measures during a critical time for the nation. Chinese officials. Chinese President Xi Jinping's state visit to the United Kingdom in 2015 had its share of unexpected moments and diplomatic challenges, some of which were inadvertently revealed by Queen Elizabeth II herself. During this high-profile visit, a candid remark made by the Queen was inadvertently captured on camera by a member of her staff, shedding light on her perceptions of the Chinese officials and the overall atmosphere of the diplomatic interactions. The Queen's candid comments were directed at a Metropolitan Police officer, expressing her frustration with the behavior of Chinese officials, particularly during their conversations with British Ambassador Barbara Woodward. Her remark about finding Chinese officials quite rude raised questions about the source of her discontent, whether it was due to personal interactions or cultural differences between the British and Chinese diplomatic protocols. It is worth noting that despite her decades of experience and her role as a seasoned diplomat, Queen Elizabeth II appeared to still find it challenging to navigate the intricacies of dealing with Chinese counterparts. Former British diplomat Carrie Brown highlighted the significance of the Queen's comments, describing it as striking that such a seasoned diplomat found it tough to engage with the Chinese. He pointed out that the difficulties in the atmospherics between diplomats from China and the UK were indicative of the broader challenges in their relationship. The historical backdrop of the royal family's relationship with the Chinese government also played a role in the Queen's candid remarks. The British monarchy has not historically maintained a close relationship with the Chinese government. This distance between the royal family and Chinese authorities is not surprising, given the stark ideological differences between the two nations. The diametrically opposing views and political systems of the British monarchy and the Chinese government have often led to tension and a lack of closeness in their diplomatic ties. The reference to a golden era in the relationship between the United Kingdom and China suggests that there was a period of relatively improved relations between the two nations. However, over the years, the relationship appears to have soured, likely due to a combination of political differences, economic interests, and evolving global dynamics. Mick Jagger. Mick Jagger, the legendary frontman of the Rolling Stones, was known for his ability to impress women all around the world with his charismatic rock star persona. However, there was one woman who remained seemingly immune to his charms, Queen Elizabeth II. The intriguing dynamics between Mick Jagger, the British royal family, and some of its prominent members provide a fascinating glimpse into the collision of fame, rock and roll, and aristocracy. According to reports in The Telegraph, while Mick Jagger may not have captured the heart of Queen Elizabeth II, he did manage to excite the curiosity of Princess Margaret, the Queen's younger sister. This fascination with the rock star led Princess Margaret to build a villa next to him on the enchanting island of Mustique. On this idyllic Caribbean island, both Jagger and Princess Margaret indulged in a lifestyle known for its vibrant parties and hedonistic revelry. Jagger's biographer, Christopher Anderson, noted that there is no concrete evidence of a romantic affair between Mick Jagger and Princess Margaret. Nevertheless, there was certainly a flirtatious atmosphere surrounding them during their time on Mustique, as confirmed by Elsa Boker, the wife of British diplomat Sir James Boker. The Queen, ever mindful of her family's public image, was reportedly disapproving of Princess Margaret's unrestrained behavior. She feared that such associations could potentially lead to scandals or moral corruption within the royal family. Interestingly, Jagger's appeal extended beyond Princess Margaret. Lady Diana, another prominent figure in the British royal family, was speculated to have had a good relationship with the charismatic rock star. The New Idea magazine suggested that their shared love for dancing and music may have brought them closer, highlighting the stark contrast between their preferences and the Queen's inclination towards more formal gatherings and countryside pursuits. However, as time went on, it became apparent that Mick Jagger's relationship with the Queen was far from cordial. According to Christopher Anderson in the Daily Mail, Jagger reportedly referred to Queen Elizabeth II as the chief witch, which likely did not endear him to the monarch. Their relationship soured over time, and it reached a point where the Queen declined to participate in Jagger's controversial knighthood ceremony, citing knee surgery as her reason for absence. In fact, Queen Elizabeth II allegedly expressed her preference for staying at the hospital over attending Jagger's knighthood ceremony, reportedly telling hospital staff, "I would much rather be here than at Buckingham Palace knighting at a certain party," as shared by Anderson with The Telegraph. Camilla Parker Bowles. The strained relationship between Queen Elizabeth II and Camilla Parker Bowles, who later became the Duchess of Cornwall, is a notable aspect of the Queen's personal life that has garnered significant attention and speculation over the years. Their complicated history, characterized by love affairs, marital turmoil, and eventual marriage, has left a lasting impact on the dynamics within the royal family. Camilla Parker Bowles entered the royal family in a highly controversial manner. Her romantic involvement with Prince Charles, the heir to the throne, had been an open secret for many years, even while he was married to Princess Diana. Their love affair had caused a great deal of public scrutiny and criticism. Despite the fact that Camilla was not seen as an ideal match for Prince Charles on paper, Their emotional connection endured. In 2005, Camilla and Prince Charles finally married, but their wedding was not without its complexities. The Queen and Prince Philip did not attend the wedding ceremony, which was seen as a significant absence. However, they did attend the reception afterward, showing some level of acknowledgement of the marriage. A bitter twist in this narrative occurred when Prince Philip passed away on April 9th, which happened to be the exact day of Camilla and Charles's wedding anniversary. This unfortunate timing added an element of poignancy to their relationship and raised questions about how the Queen felt about Camilla's place within the royal family. Biographer Tom Bower's insights into the Queen's perspective on Camilla shed light on her reservations. Bower claimed that Queen Elizabeth II never approved of Camilla from the beginning and had, on occasion, referred to her as a wicked woman. The Queen's disapproval of Camilla was evident, and she expressed a strong reluctance to have any association with her. In fact, it was reported that Queen Elizabeth II did not even meet Camilla until the year 2000, a substantial period after her relationship with Prince Charles had become widely known. Jacqueline Kennedy, Onassis. The mutual dislike and suspicion between Queen Elizabeth II and Jacqueline Kennedy. Onassis, the iconic former First Lady of the United States, added an intriguing layer to their interactions. Their contrasting backgrounds, personalities, and views often led to strained relations, with both women harboring reservations about each other. The tension between Queen Elizabeth II's and Jacqueline Kennedy Onassis was palpable during the Kennedys' visit to Buckingham Palace in 1961. This visit, while a diplomatic affair, was not without its challenges. According to reports, the Kennedy couple allegedly made unflattering remarks about the appearance of Buckingham Palace and the Queen herself. Onassis, known for her glamorous and fashionable style, found the Queen's attire to be too modest and out of touch with the latest fashion trends. She also viewed the palace as outdated and worn out. British photographer and designer Cecil Beaton, in his diaries, reported that Onassis openly expressed her lack of enthusiasm for the royal surroundings. However, the discord between the two women did not begin with their meeting in 1961. Disputes over the guest list for a protocol dinner had already set the stage for tension. Onassis wanted to bring her sister, Princess Lee Radziwill, who was a divorcee. This choice did not align with the Queen's views on marital separation, and she was known to oppose inviting divorcees to certain royal events. Despite the initial objections, Princess Lee Radziwill ultimately attended the dinner. As a form of apparent retaliation, Queen Elizabeth II withheld invitations for Princess Margaret and Princess Marina, both of whom Onassis was keen to meet. This move was seen as a calculated response to the disagreement over the guest list. The exclusion of Princess Margaret and Princess Marina may have added to the overall discomfort during the dinner. Onassis later revealed her feelings of unease during the dinner, suggesting that she believed the Queen resented her presence. She described Prince Philip as being polite but nervous, and she noted a lack of a genuine connection or relationship between the royal couple and herself. Margaret Thatcher. The complex and often tense relationship between Queen Elizabeth II and the iconic British Prime Minister Margaret Thatcher, known as the Iron Lady, has been a subject of fascination for many. This intricate dynamic has been depicted in various forms of media, including the popular Netflix series The Crown, which highlights the respect that developed between the two women over the years, despite numerous disagreements and both personal and official disputes. Diana, Princess of Wales. The stark contrast between Diana Spencer and Camilla Parker Bowles, particularly in their roles within the British royal family, brought about significant differences in their relationships with Queen Elizabeth II. While Diana initially appeared as the perfect match for the royal successor, her emotional and sincere reactions diverged sharply from the traditional stoicism of the royal family, leading to a complex and evolving relationship with the Queen. Diana's genuine and emotionally expressive nature puzzled Queen Elizabeth II, who, at first, tried to be supportive of the young princess. However, Diana's unconventional approach to royal life and motherhood eventually led to tensions. One notable departure from tradition was Diana's approach to raising her two sons, Prince William and Prince Harry. Unlike other mothers within the British royal family, Diana prioritized spending as much time as possible with her children. This deviation from royal protocol, which emphasized a more hands-off approach to parenting with the assistance of housemaids, left the Queen confused and disapproving. It was reported that the Queen once commented, "I don't understand why Diana has to do this. There are millions of housemaids around," reflecting her bewilderment at Diana's choices. Another source of tension between Diana and the Queen arose when Diana chose to publish a biography titled Diana, Her True Story in 1992. The book, written by royal biographer Andrew Morton, delved into her personal life, including her troubled marriage to Prince Charles and her relationship with the Queen. This move was perceived as a breach of royal protocol, as members of the royal family were traditionally expected to maintain a discreet and private persona. Diana's decision to reveal intimate details of her life further strained her relationship with the Queen, who valued discretion and privacy. The breakdown of Diana and Charles's marriage, marked by numerous scandals and controversies, contributed to the Queen's growing disapproval of her daughter-in-law. The marriage ultimately ended in divorce, with Diana tragically passing away in a car accident just a year later. Upon hearing the news of Diana's death, Queen Elizabeth II reportedly made a comment that was initially interpreted as insensitive. According to royal expert and author Ingrid Seward, the Queen's first response was, "Someone must have greased the brakes." Donald Trump. Queen Elizabeth II, a seasoned diplomat and figurehead of the British monarchy, has had reasonably warm relations with numerous United States presidents throughout her reign. However, her interactions with Donald Trump proved to be notably different and occasionally strained. Trump's visit to the United Kingdom in 2018 was marked by a series of incidents that raised eyebrows and fueled speculations about the nature of his relationship with the Queen. One of the most notable incidents during Trump's visit was his alleged breach of royal protocol. While rumors initially circulated that Trump had been late for his meeting with the Queen, subsequent reports clarified that he was, in fact, only a minute behind schedule. However, what raised concerns was his behavior during the protocol stroll past members of the royal family and officials. In a move that garnered British disapproval, Trump turned his back on the Queen and walked ahead of her. This breach of etiquette was viewed as a display of disregard for the protocols and norms that govern interactions with the British royal family, leaving many to wonder whether it was intentional or merely a consequence of his excitement. Despite Trump's reputation as a self-proclaimed fan of Queen Elizabeth II, as reported by HuffPost, it appeared that their feelings towards each other might not have been equally reciprocal. Trump's enthusiastic remarks about his relationship with the Queen suggested a high level of admiration on his part. However, it was unclear whether the Queen shared the same fascination, especially given the controversies that surrounded their interactions. One intriguing detail that emerged during Trump's visit in 2018 was the choice of jewelry worn by Queen Elizabeth II. She donned a brooch that had been presented to her as a gift from the Obamas, as reported by The Independent. The Queen is known for using her fashion choices and accessories to convey subtle messages or make statements. Therefore, the choice of the brooch raised questions about the underlying message she might have been sending, particularly in the context of her meeting with Trump, all of the Queen's grandchildren. The Queen's refusal to adhere to Scottish initiatives aimed at reducing carbon emissions has sparked criticism and raised concerns about her stance on climate change issues. This decision has been viewed by many as a manifestation of her ignorance towards the pressing global problem of climate change. According to reports by The Guardian, Queen Elizabeth II engaged in secret lobbying efforts to secure exemptions from regulations designed to cut carbon emissions on her land and estates in Scotland. Her extensive land holdings in Scotland make her one of the major land owners in the country, making her exemption from carbon reduction measures particularly significant. The mechanism through which the Queen pursued these exemptions is known as Queen's consent. This process allows the Queen to review and become familiar with proposed legislation before it is officially confirmed. While the Queen's consent has been employed in numerous cases over the years, it has revealed a pattern of the Queen's reluctance to abide by the same rules and regulations that apply to the general public. The Queen's refusal to support environmental initiatives aimed at reducing carbon emissions is seen by many as a form of hypocrisy. It highlights a worrying disregard for not only her own grandchildren and future generations, but also for the broader global community facing the consequences of climate change. Climate change is a critical issue that poses severe threats to the environment, economies, and the well-being of people worldwide. Many argue that leaders, including heads of state like Queen Elizabeth II, should set an example by actively supporting and promoting efforts to combat climate change. What do you think about these celebrities the Queen can't stand? Leave us your comments in the section below. We hope you have found this helpful video. Don't forget to leave a like, share, and subscribe to the channel if you like it. Thank you for watching this and see you in the next videos. Goodbye.